respected members on the dais. Ganesh, I'll have to apologize twice, once for last week and once today for coming late in almost our program only, in collaboration with Lighthouse. But we take a huge conclave of all our teachers and HMs every third or fourth month, and today was one of those times. We had a lot of students who we were awarding for various scholarships, etc. So that took quite a bit of time. So apologies from my side for being late today actually. Other members on the dais, Mr. Anirban Mukherjee, CEO Mini Orange, Mr. Preetijit Bobby Lahiri, Mr. Rumpa Roy, Ruchi, Anuja, entire Lighthouse team, all the members from the industries who've come here. This whole discussion I think started almost a month back, if I'm not wrong, with Amruta and the team, where we were deciding, and it came forward from a separate discussion that I was having. And that also flew from a lot of recent events which have been happening on the various fronts. In public at large, I think it was more so because of Operation Sindoor that we began to realize the gravity of what drones are, what drone technology is, etc., etc. I don't think we as a nation would have Googled it any time before than that, more than that all of us collectively did in Operation Sindoor. And those of us who've been following Russian-Ukraine war for some time now, we've been doing it since the past 2-3 years. I've been closely following it across, just like that. I'm generally interested in IR, so to say. And the rise that you see of startups, earlier startups, almost behemoths now, like Planteer and Underhill, and a European sister organization called Eric Martin has been there for n number of years, whereas these startups in drone technology are not even a decade old. And that's what technology is really doing to the entire world. Mr. Vinod Khosla's statement, I don't know how true it is, and not everything on Instagram is true, and I read it on Instagram, so I'm putting a disclaimer onto it. There was an article just yesterday only where Mr. Vinod Khosla was making various statements about how AI would set a lot of professionals, especially the white collar professionals, packing, because those jobs will be taken over by AI. And very surprisingly, one of the top candidates in those are doctors, by the way. Doctors not like totally, but if you see radiology is one of those fields where AI is predicting your TB and other things from your X-rays faster than a radiologist would ever do, and more accurately than a radiologist would ever do. Of course, there are very, very experienced radiologists who might be able to pick that one thing that probably AI might still not do it, but then AI is getting trained as we speak. So that crazy amount of speed with which these things are changing, and Mr. Vinod Khosla was not wrong when he said that all of us, we need to upgrade our skills. If we don't welcome it with opening hands, I think we'll be almost in stone age by the time we even realize what's happening. And it's the breakneck speed with which it is happening, it's not very far off when we all heard about ChatGPT for the first time immediately after COVID. Probably things were happening even earlier also, but in the larger public, OpenAI and ChatGPT was the first introduction to what AI could be. Various Hollywood movies have predicted it a long time back. Shaktiman also predicted to an extent some time back. But apart from the Shaktimans and the Matrix and the Hollywoods of the world, I think we are now beginning to see what these things and how profoundly impactful these can be, not just from a technological point of view, but also from a sociological point of view. And n number of things that we assumed, earlier are no longer true in a world which is governed by AI. And these are the few of the thoughts, which really pushed me into thinking that whether the kind of skilling that we are doing with our kids through Lighthouse, and it's been an amazing engagement till now with Lighthouse. We both could collectively do much better, but that is always true of any initiative that we take. But I think it's been an amazing journey till now, the way that we've been able to get everything together. We have about 11 lighthouses, 12th one in progress, 11 lighthouses already functional, more than 4,500 students, etc., etc. These guys, I'm assuming Deepika or Anuja or someone must have briefed you guys in the introduction with regards to that. But having said so, I think it made sense for us to begin to learn from the industry, and that is why we are here. I'm frankly not here to give too many fundas beyond what I read in the newspapers. I am a civil engineer, absolutely nothing to do with AI or computers or anything to that extent. But I read a lot, and that's why I'm probably gurgling it out. But I'm here more today to listen from you guys as to what the future entails for our kids, and what we are doing, we can include that in the skilling paradigm that we are trying to create. And that's a request to Mr. Lahiri, that's a request to Mr. Roy, and that's a request to Mr. Mukherjee, that what is it that we can include in our skilling ecosystem so that we make these kids some bit ready to approach the job market with the kind of right skills that they must have going forward. Similar is the case with drone tech, and I came late, but I was almost listening to what Ganesh was saying, and very, very correct. I think drone technology is also profoundly changing the way that the world operates. Most Indians drone, rendezvous is actually with a drone hovering around over you in a wedding. That is where it really started, and those are the most irritating ones. But then you have a whole lot of new technology. Just to give a quick example, we initiated the drone survey of the entire city, PCMC, about a year back. Within 6 months of the drone survey and identifying every property by a unique property ID, we could identify 2.7 lakh unassessed properties, which we were not assessing before. So we were only assessing 6.25 lakh properties, and 2.7 lakh new properties we identified through drone mapping. Of course, drone mapping backed by UPID to everyone, identifying, running our database onto it, etc. That has led to almost a jump of our property taxation by nearly about 200 crore. We feel it could reach 300 crore. But that's like a good jump, very good jump for me also while I'm using it. We've also begun to use that drone data now for various other things. The data is almost 2 to 3 centimeter accuracy, and I'm able to even identify the chambers, the manholes, the sewerage covers, the street lights, whatever you might have. And clubbing it with the GIS, we already, PCMC is one of those forward-looking organizations. We already have 340 GIS layers already created for the city. This drone data would add on to that entire layers that we have. Going forward, digital twin is something that we're looking at. So just a small example of how we could leverage that technology, and it's absolutely, this is just scratching the surface, by the way. It's absolutely, we have not even went deeper into what the value that it can deliver for the public service, the value that it can deliver for cities in terms of how we deliver services for the people, all the civic services. And not just that, Maharashtra has been one of the pioneers in trying to create property cards for villages. Many of you won't know it. Pilot for that started in Maharashtra. It's been scaled up across India. It's called Swamitva scheme. Villages in general, for those of you who know what Gauthan is, the main core village area, people don't have property cards the way that you have here. They don't have any documentation of their record of rights. Using drone technology in Swamitva scheme, people have been given title to their homes which they never had. So that was not happening in villages, and that experiment is running across all 6 lakh villages in the country. So that's the kind of impact that drone technology can have. Ganesh was very right from agriculture to space to warfare to name what you may. And luckily enough for us, I think Pune is one of those places combined with both these AI and drone, which eventually become dev tech also to an extent, but dev tech is much more than just simply AI and drones. Pune is one of those crucibles which have, if I'm not wrong, last the data that I was told, Ganesh, almost 300 firms, CI might know it better, almost 300 firms are involved somewhere in the downstream or the upstream of the entire defense technology ecosystem that is operating in India. Pune is one of those places where it's really happening. So I thought this is just today, and I'm just laying out my my own expectations also today from what we are going to hear. I would request and urge all of you, while focusing in whatever field that you might be doing, also to let us know. And I think there are small groups also. We're doing some exercises with you. We're trying to co-create this entire thing with you. So would really urge and request you to really participate fully. Think about those kids who are coming to us from slums and low-income housing communities and families which are broken, some single mothers, etc., etc., etc. N number of stories that we can narrate to you. And think about how ready they can be while they're going out. And also just think about that it's not an IT degree that I'm giving. It's not nothing of that sort. We are trying to probably skill them some bit, but trying to make them market ready. PFLS survey, PLFS survey just yesterday, not very encouraging. Almost 19.8 urban unemployment as per the survey which got released just yesterday. June figures are a little bit higher than May. It's a bit of a, it's a bit concerning, so to say. Of course, government might be looking at it from a overall perspective. But once these kids go out in the job market, we want them to be as ready as possible, especially with a very, very keen eye on the dev tech part, very, very keen eye on the AI part, very keen eye on the drone technology. And also to understand that if you have to skill them tomorrow, like Ruchi, we skill them on various things, how we can skill them in these sectors, which could be those partners that we can onboard so that we can skill them going forward. Yesterday only I was with Symbiosis and we are running the 2 programs with Symbiosis Skill University. It's a small program. Lighthouse is a more broad-based program. Symbiosis, we are only having 60 girls. First batch is going to pass out soon. We're going to have convocation for them. All of them are almost placed. It's a course in manufacturing excellence and 1 course is in manufacturing automation. We are also working, by the way, with Symbiosis now to have try to see, they are starting up with a BTech in defense technology. They are creating a specialized course. But I've also requested them to see if we can have a certified diploma or something like that, which is like a bridge course before someone wants to move for a higher degree. And that could be something very critical, but we need to identify more such partners to enroll, enlist whoever kids that are coming to Lighthouse and who are interested in their upskilling from these sectoral perspective, and try to see how we can fit them best based on the learnings that we have today from the industry. Once again, thank you to the entire Lighthouse team. As I said, I don't know whether you guys were planning it earlier or not, but I think we talked about it not very long ago, and you could put it out at a very, very short notice. I would also say that let this be a first starter also. Maybe in some months, let's have a bigger conclave, which can also result into more number of outcomes, etc. in terms of, how the kids are placed as well. Short of calling it a job fair, I don't want to call it a job fair. Job fair has become a very, very loosely, partly abused word also. But let's try to put it out right across, maybe in a bigger platform also going forward. But thanks to all the members from the industries and various organizations who've come today at Lighthouse's invitation in collaboration with PCMC. You come here today. I'm only trying to learn from you guys as to what the new trends in the industries are. What are those skill sets that are lacking in the industry? Which is those skill sets that you don't get from the people who you are onboarding? Which are those skills where we should focus? And they can be very, very low hanging fruits, which is going to, yield the maximum result for us. Something which might not be too fun to, but something which is very, very, critical in drones or otherwise in defense technology, etc. So that's the expectation that I have today. Once again, thanks to Ganesh, Ruchi, Anuja, Amruta, Deepika, the whole team for putting all this together at a very short notice, I would say not even a month's notice, and making it work together. Hopefully by the end of the day, we'll have a clearer roadmap in terms of what we must do in this sub-ecosystem of the entire skilling ecosystem dent that we are trying to make through Lighthouse. Thank you so much.